What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna start out with a couple of quotes. The first one is, "It was the best of times and the worst of times," and ooh, water just dropped onto my head. And the reason for that quote is because today I got to see some of the best and what could possibly be the worst, and was educated on what could possibly be the worst in human nature. The second quote is that if you fight with monsters long enough, you become one. And I'm going to tell you what scares me about all of these things and what encourages me about all of these things. Um, and I'm going to talk a little bit about psychological and social experiments that were done in the 60s and before and after that time. Um, so here we go. I don't know if you remember a few videos back, I talked about how um, my nature, I don't have a nature that's assertive by nature. Um, me, by astrological signs, if you believe in that, as I am a mutable person, and by ethnicity and culture, I am highly mutable as well. And I was put into a situation where it kind of mimicked, if you thought about it, the psychosocial experiments that were done back in the 60s and 70s. In those experiments, they had a prison experiment where they just took some regular college students that, and when you think college students, you think about people that are on the up and up in life or have been trained that way or have a true belief in the system in that manner. Now, what ended up happening, they divided some into jailers and some into prisoners. And they found that some of these people that had the most assertive personalities, when exposed to or treated this way with authority over a period of time, they succeeded to that. And those that were opposite, the very meek people that were put into positions of power, again, given that authority and pushed to take that authority over a period of time, they became that. Now, I was telling you all that in a little position that I had, I recently was advised that as part of that position, that I would be responsible for asking people to leave, kicking people out, that type of thing. And I was like, I can't do that. Everything inside of me was like, that's not my nature. I'm not trying to take that um, responsibility. But then it was found out that indeed, because of course I did my research, is a part of what is requested of that position. Surprisingly to me, because it is a minimum wage paying position, and it is a non-supervisory position and a non-management position. And so that surprised me. And what it kind of reminded me of is the Army. The Army places, what they would consider lower end people on the forefront to get, taken out, whatever that needs to be done to protect the quote unquote higher end people. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later because I think my bus is here. But yeah, so it reminded me of that because what I found in that position, because I was told that that was part of it, I researched it and found it to be true. I started to step up into the strength, the quote unquote strength of what that was. I stepped up to the call of duty. And what I found myself doing, which may seem a little sadistic to some, is that when you have a situation where you're called to step into shoes that you wouldn't normally fill, in order to encourage yourself, you start to hype yourself up, become louder. Because I saw what happened was I was like, oh yeah, we're about to do this, and it was the exact situation where there was someone that complained harshly. We went to go look at it. One person took care of it. I stood by. Then it happened again. I'm going to complete this later because I have to board my bus, but it's a lot to this day that I learned, so I'm going to share it later.